Hello, hi everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Marketing and Tech Group Show by MarTechWise. So today I have with me Sergio from the KeyZii team, who's here to showcase their product demo for you, answer your questions, and more. And with that, I'd like to welcome Sergio to join us. Hey, Sergio, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Excited to share what we're doing here at KeyZii and answer all your questions. Hopefully, everybody is impressed with the product as I am. And this is, I'm just very glad we got invited to this. So thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah, so maybe we can start off by maybe you can give us a little bit of explanation in terms of like what KeyZii is. What are the uh, features, its benefits, and what kind of use cases does it have, and who is it really for? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So what KeyZii is, it's an instant video chat to connect with your inbound leads, so your interested customers, instantly and be able to share and collaborate with them with preloaded assets. So what we're trying to do here is have you connect faster and sell smarter and close more deals. Um, Now, I think everybody here knows that if you wait a long time to answer an inbound lead, you're less likely to close them. So we really want to enable you to get that inbound lead, get that interested customer while intent is high. So strike while the iron is hot, and then allow your agents or your selling team to be able to share and collaborate with them on the call instantly. So this includes, pulling up videos and co-watching them, pulling up documents, images, virtual tours, 3D renderings, anything that you might need for your demo or for your pitch. So the way that it's implemented right now is as a button. So you can see here on my website, for example, we have it saying live demo. It can say anything you want. It could say call now. It could say, talk to an agent. And then if I'm online, you'll be able to call. If I'm not online, this button will automatically switch to, for us, it's book a demo, right? So it takes you to a scheduler. Now, the intent here is that if you're available and somebody wants to talk to you again, we want to get that time as close to zero as possible so that when somebody is interested, they can just come in, click, bang, you're on a call. So that's the high level of KeyZii. Now, who it's for is for high ticket sales. So if you have a company that does any kind of complex or high ticket sales, this is for you, right? You want to have that face-to-face time. It's important for you to get in front of your customer, build that trust, and really have them understand your product. This is what you want this for. So this could be for real estate. It could be for selling automotive, software services, marketing agencies, sales agencies, really anybody that wants to give a presentation, that wants to be collaborative and hands-on with their client, and wants to make sure that you have a higher conversion rate. So that's the high level overview of KeyZii. But I think the best way to understand it is to see it in action. So we can go ahead and do that if you want.
Yeah, definitely. I think with that, maybe Sergio, you can take it away. You have the share buttons on your screen right now, so let us know how you want to maybe
Yeah,
run the demo.
I will. I'll share right here. Let's see. I understand. Proceed. I'm going to share my entire screen here. Okay. So I am supposedly sharing my screen. I don't know. Can you see my screen?
Yep. Here we go.
Okay. Great. So I'm going to go to KeyZii.com just to show you from the beginning of where it is. So when I come in here, you see how it says live demo. I can press the live demo button, and then it will take me to a call-in screen where, as a caller, I can turn on my camera, and now I'm calling in. So it's easy as that. Now I'm connected with a prospective client. I'm going to put these side by side so that we can view both instances at the same time. So if you'll give me a second here. Okay. So once the client comes in, I have everything preloaded and ready to go on my sidebars. So I can get my documents, all of my content, and put them into KeyZii beforehand, or I can connect with an API and pull things directly from my website. So this will permit me to like not have to upload tons of content if I have tons of content. And then what we can do is we can start sharing right on the spot. So I'm going to share this virtual tour, for example. And as you can see, I pulled it up and it pulled up for both people. And now we can move around and I can give the caller a tour, right? But let's say the caller on the right side wants to go somewhere else. They can actually take over as well and then guide us through where they want to go. So everything we do at KeyZii is a two-way street. So if somebody moves to the right, you're going to see them move to the right. If somebody moves to the left, you're going to see them move to the left. And this applies with all kinds of content. So it can be virtual tours. It can be vehicle tours, right? So if we go into a car, and you can use this for manufacturing, any kind of physical product that you want to demonstrate. We can do things on images. So if I pull up an image and I want to draw, let's say, an apple, and please don't judge my drawing skills, they're not great, but I can draw my very ugly apple, and then the caller can come in and say, okay, well, I'm gonna add to the apple and put the leaf on the apple, right? And so again, everything is a two-way street. We can do everything collaboratively. So if we have renderings or any kind of project that is, image-based, we can mark it up. We can work on it together. We can also share things like YouTube videos or uploaded videos. Now the volume controls are independent, so each person can or unmute themselves. But if one person pauses it, it'll pause for the other person. If the other person fast forwards or rewinds, it'll fast forward or rewind for the other person. So again, everything is going to be a two-way street. This way, if you're showing a video, and I'm sure everybody's done this, where they have somebody show a video on a video chat, and it's a video of a screen share where you can't hear the volume, and it's choppy. This is actually playing on your own computer. So if you have a question, you can press pause. If your caller has a question, they can press pause and they can hear it. So it's really like doing it live in the same room, right? Then we could do things like collaborate on our whiteboard. So we can both draw on our whiteboard here, and I'll move this out of the way so we can see here. And we can see that both things will be translated automatically. And we can do things like signing a contract. So if you did a great job and your prospective client is extremely excited to work with you, we can go in and take them into this contract, and they can then sign on the spot. So we can do e-signatures. We can also verify identities and do biometrics. So I can add live picture and ID, and then have them take a picture of their face, then take a picture of their ID or upload the ID, and have our AI tell you, well, yes, Sergio is Sergio, and then have that appended onto the document and, get that all done. So it's really to take you from A to Z in one place. Now, your assets can be organized into folders, so you can put things into folders. You can set things up for different use cases. You can set things up really however you'd like. You can also add things live into a call if you forgot a YouTube video that you wanted to put on. If I have a demo of Premiere Pro, let's say, I can actually put it in, and I can just pop it into here, and it'll give me a preview. And if I press share, it'll go ahead and share right into the call. But if the caller says, hey, you know what, I actually want to show you a video as well, they can put it into the chat. And when we got that link here, now I can also share it, and it'll give me the preview, and I can share it into the call as well. So this gives us the ability to really be able to collaborate and, get that conversion rate up by giving your customers a really special experience. If you want to then schedule a follow-up call, we have the scheduler right here. You can go see your dates and times, and schedule a time for a follow-up with your caller. And that's like the basic overview of how you use KeyZii. Now, this can be white labeled by embedding it into a website. So it can be completely within your own environment or into your app. And you can organize assets beforehand on the asset management page. So we have what are called company assets. So these will be showed to everybody in your organization, and only the admins can add or remove them. The personal assets, which are individual to each one of your users. And then here is the send contracts. So I can actually manage and see all the contracts that I've sent out. We can preset contracts before we go into a call. So if we want to add different signers, we can do that. Then we can add different fields for them to sign in, and we can put them wherever we want. We can save that so that there is a copy of it. But we can also email them out. So if you have more than 2 signers, you can send them to as many people as you want. And then KeyZii is highly customizable. So on our settings, you can set your own personal link. So mine is call.keyzii.com/Sergio for anybody who wants to talk to me. If you go to there, that'll allow you to call in or schedule a call with me. These are your links. So this is how you embed the button into your website. You just click this, and it'll give you HTML. It's very easy to put in. It takes less than 5 minutes. And here's where you can customize your button. So as I said, right, we have live demo and book a demo, but you could say call now. You could say schedule a call, schedule a consultation, whatever you want. You can, edit your colors and your button size, and then also add your logo, your icons, your favicons, so that it is, fully your branding. And that is the high-level overview of KeyZii. We do have a lot of things on the roadmap, including workspaces. Call recording is going to be live on Monday. So just this week, it is currently getting out there. Call templates is something that we're working on as well. And to explain that a little bit, that means that you'll be able to set different buttons for different use cases with different branding for different kinds of agents. So you'll be able to route leads according to use case or language or whatever it might be. But the real intent here is we want to make sure that we're building a tool that's helping you convert as much business as possible, and give you all the things that you need to make your business successful. So we really want to have that like one-on-one relationship with our clients and with our users, so that we can get as much feedback as humanly possible and really build a tool that works ideally for everybody.
Yeah, that's great to hear. Maybe I as somebody who's like from the B2B marketing and sales side of things, right? I'm always interested in tools like this. Maybe could you share with us maybe like some success stories that maybe KeyZii users have had in real life? What are the real practical applications? Because I guess there is a bit of a quandary, right? Like for example, like having a salesperson man the KeyZii station, right? During office hours is often something that's quite tough. But I guess it comes down to have you seen end users manage to kind of like close sales directly on the call as a result, like inbound visitors coming to the website and everything. So maybe you could share with us some success stories of the end users.
Yeah, so we actually had one of our beta users companies use KeyZii for that exact thing. So they would sell certifications, Lean Six Sigma certifications. If you don't know what they are, that's okay, but they're business certifications, and they had an international team. We had one of their agents use the KeyZii inbound, and the rest of their 20 agents do their regular answering phones, emails, scheduling, follow-ups. Within 1 week of the test, that one agent closed 40% of the calls that came in on the first call, closed 30% of the calls that came in within that week, and the other 30% were existing customers that then were upsold. He by himself netted more than the rest of the 20 agents in that entire week. So one person had a much higher conversion rate and made a lot more money than the rest of the team combined. Now, the reason being was because these are extremely high intent, customers that are coming in. So it's not a high. It's not as high of a quantity. So it's less numbers, but it's much more quality, right? Because if somebody is willing to get on a video call with you, if they're interested enough to show you their face, to want to talk to you at the moment, that's an extremely high intent customer that's going to go with the first person that answers them. And I'm sure this has happened to everybody where you're filling out forms, and this happens to me quite a bit, where I'm like, oh, well, I need this new service, and I'm going out and I setting up demos and trying to get somebody to talk to, and I'll even try the chatbots and everything else. I generally go with the first people that answer me. So if they give me a good experience, and if I can say, hey, well, these people care, then I get on them. Somebody just called in. I didn't answer. I'm actually going to go offline here so that we don't get any more calls while we're on this demo,
Right.
on this call. But that's exactly the idea right there, right? You have somebody call in, and if they're interested, we can answer on the spot.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's definitely the way I see it too. I mean, kind of like the way I see it, right? One of for some of the members in the community out there who are looking at the deal, right? Um, this could be potentially offered as some kind of a lead generation service or a productized lead generation service where maybe you provide the on call, like you provide the sales team, and then
Mm-hmm.
you help your clients to embed the KeyZii on their website, and somebody comes to the website and calls, and then you provide the staff member who engages in the first sales pitch to the website visitors. And that's kind of like a way that's really yeah, I think you could spin it off into like some kind of a productized service where that's pretty profitable. I mean, as long as the product, the business, the offer, whichever kind of product the business visitor, like the website visitor, is coming to see, right, is
Mm-hmm.
high value enough, right? I think that's something that probably could work out, I would say.
Yeah, which is why we're specifically for high ticket sales.
Mm,
If you're selling a $10, you know, thing, you don't want to have your agent spend 30 minutes on video calls. That's extremely expensive.
right,
But if you're, selling a $10,000 product, a
right.
$100,000 product, even $1,000 product, those 30 minutes are worth your time, and it's worth the agent's time to
Mm,
be creating that face-to-face relationship. So it's really for, high ticket sales, where intent matters,
yeah,
where the volume will be lower,
yeah,
but the quality will be much higher.
yeah,
And then, as you
definitely.
said, yeah, once we put out the templates, for example, you could use KeyZii to provide yourself a service for your BDRs, right? So you could say, I have a staff of setters that I'll put the button on your website, and it'll be branded to your instance, and we can answer the calls and set the stage for you, and that can all be done automatically, where we can pull in the content depending on the use case or the company in this case, and then you could have a team answering those calls.
Got it, got it. Okay, so if we were to kind of like sum up, like why users will love KeyZii, right? What do you think are the key selling points for the product?
Well, one is that it gets you in front of your clients much faster, which will make you more money. That's just a statistical fact, right? The longer you wait to answer, the less likely you are to close. Two, it's really easy to use. So there's no download needed for your clients. They don't need to, update their Zoom. They don't need to make an account. They can be on any of your landing pages and call in with no barriers to entry. And then three, you have all the tools you need ready to go. So you'll be able to share your demos, share your presentations, walk them through the step of implementing, closing, understanding your product all in one place cohesively, and then getting them to the point where you can get them to make a decision on whether or not they want to buy your product or service. Um, so the whole idea is you can be doing other things, and we can be online. So if I go back online, right, I could just be having this open, and I do, do that every day is I have this open and I'll be answering emails or doing something else. And if somebody calls in, I can stop my email, answer my interested client, take them through the demo, and then get them set up on the spot. So it really gives you the ability to to just get a higher conversion rate. Somebody walked into your store, it's because they want to buy something. So, might as well give them the attention and service that they want and need for them to do business with you.
Got it. Got it. Okay. Since we've talked about the product, maybe it's good to shine a light on the team and behind the product. So I think this is where we would like to find out more about Sergio and your the rest of your team, and how did you come up with the idea for KeyZii?
Yeah, so how we came up to the idea was actually pretty fun. So I'm the third Sergio in my family. The second Sergio is my dad, and he is a developer. So during the pandemic, he built a dominoes game for my family to play dominoes together because we were all in different parts of the world and be on video chat. So we were able to be on camera and collaboratively click around and play. And I said, hey, it'd be really cool to be on camera and be able to, interact with a software demo, or so I could share a video and docs and bring things in and out. So we started iterating on that idea, and that's kind of where KeyZii was born. So we actually managed to get a patent on the technology of the collaborative assets on a video chat. We're the only ones that can do that specific aspect. But I'll give you a little bit of background on who Sergio Sr. is, and then I'll go into me and Aaron, who is our Chief Product Officer. So Sergio Sr. has been doing programming and development since the early 80s. So he's one of the front runners as far as technology that has been on this planet. So if you've ever used one of those big printers, the ones that you have in offices, you've more than likely used software that he has developed. So he was part of the team in Prodigy that set up the first network before the internet was called the internet. He's built one of the first word processors. And this whole process has been, extremely exciting because we'll get feedback from one of our users or somebody saying, hey, you know what, we want biometric identification. And 48 hours later, we'll have a, beta for him because he'll just go and say, okay, I'm going to build it. So it's been really exciting where we can develop technology very, very quickly because of his ability to just spin it out, from thin air, which is really cool. Now, me, I'm a salesperson. So I've worked in everything from door-to-door sales back when I was in high school. And early college, I used to knock on people's doors and sell them things, all the way to enterprise sales, where I was selling software to the likes of GE and Comcast and other big organizations and public companies. So I really know the value of what that time to contact means. Specifically for me in high ticket sales, it was the difference. 5 minutes was the difference in between getting a qualified lead and getting something that could close a deal to never hearing from them again. So when we went into building this tool, I set off to build a tool that I would have liked to use when I was starting my sales career and when I was running my own sales teams, where we could have converted higher and really will lower those barrier to entry for at least complex sales. So my whole background is software sales and having to do that grind every single day. So I understand the plight of making 100, 200, 500 calls and getting 5 deals from that, if even. And I also understand what it's like when you have a very good lead come in, but you didn't get it from marketing for 2 hours, and then that person never answers again. So it's important to me to make sure that we give the sales team, the salespeople, and the revenue generation product of your company as many opportunities as possible to get the deal done. And then the last person is our Chief Product Officer, Aaron. So he's actually based in New Zealand, and he's what I like to call the gatekeeper. And I call him the gatekeeper because we have so many more features that we had on KeyZii before this version that we've had to, step back and remove, because he won't let anything go to market unless it's looks, feels, and works to his expectations, which is I'm just going to be frank and say he has a very high standard for what can be pushed out to market. So while we have a lot of tech on the back end that we're waiting to push, he's the guy that says, hey, this is not working to my standards. We have to go back and make sure that it's easy for the users to use and redesign it until it is as simple as humanly possible. And he also is what helped us make it look so good and feel so good when you use it. So it's been an exciting venture. We're a small team, which means we're very nimble. So we make changes quickly. We love the feedback. We love understanding what is working and what isn't working for users, so we can really iterate and transform this process. I'm just going to stop sharing the screen.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. So I think with that, maybe it would be good to take a look at what would be the in the immediate roadmap. Like, what do you have coming down the pipeline in the next 3 months, the next 6 months?
Yeah. So as mentioned, we do have the recording coming out next week. Today, last night I launched the embedded white labeling. So you can put in KeyZii as an iframe on any website or product now. So it stays within your environment. We launched that yesterday. We're going to be doing a lot of different integrations, including CRM integrations, other tool integrations. We have a scheduler, for example, but we do want to, enable people that are already using Calendly to use what they already have. So there's a lot of integration work happening on the back end. We're building a more robust widget. So the button is cool and we love how it works, but you'll be able to do more as far as where it's placed, how it works. We're also going to be enabling like CNAME masking if you want to do that instead of embedding. And as we talked about earlier, the the templates, right? And this is where we're going to be able to tag users by different things like languages spoke. So the company that we talked about earlier, that use case the success case, they have agents that speak English, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and some of them don't speak English, and some of them don't speak French. So it's important to route the callers to the right person. So we enabled that by tagging the agents depending on the use case. Now that's technology again that we've built. We're reworking it to make sure the UX UI and the setting up of it is extremely smooth and seamless. And that's the case with most of these things that we're mentioning now. We've actually built something, taken it back, and are reworking it so it works really nicely. And so there's a lot of different things that we have on the roadmap. A lot of it's going to be guided by feedback. So what we really want to do is, enable people to go onto our school community and talk to us directly, and then see what it is that people are asking for the most and prioritizing that. So that's that's the high level overview. There are still a lot other things that we're working on, right? Individual profiles for callers, the ecosystem for call transferring to preferred vendors. There's just so many different things. There's a new editor we're doing. I could go on for an hour with all the different ideas that we have as far as what we want to get down the pipe. Payment processing, but again, it's all going to be driven by user feedback. Like our Outlook integration, that's one of the things that's coming in the next month, where we want to make sure that any calendar can be integrated, and any system can be integrating. Our CRM integration, that's something that's going to be coming a lot sooner than other things, because that's something that's been asked for. So it really depends on the community. So you guys to ask us and tell us what it is that you're looking for.
Got it. Okay. And I guess maybe if you could kind of like sum up in one maybe one line, where do you see KeyZii? What kind of product do you see KeyZii being in the future? Like what's the big picture?
So the big picture is that it's going to be a sales enablement tool for inbound sales, where you'll be able to do multi business functions in one place. So again, connecting faster, selling easier, signing, closing, executing, all in one environment, where we can kind of bring everything in and give you as many tools as possible in the simplest format as possible, um, without you having to, juggle 16 different things and log in here, log in there. We want to centralize things for our users as much as possible.
Got it. Okay. I think with that, we're gonna maybe take a quick peek at the current deal that KeyZii has on Rocket Hub. So we're gonna just quickly jump to that, and then after that we'll take questions. Um, for maybe for Sergio, right? Would you be able to kind of like take us through the Rocket Hub deal? What are we getting for for the different plans that's available?
Of course, yeah. So we've talked about what it is that we do, so the different use cases, but and all of these will be enabled with every plan. So really, the differences between the plans are the user count and the asset amounts that you'll be able to have. So for the personal count, this is if you're just one person, you're a solopreneur, you're an individual coach, you're never going to have a larger team. That's perfect for you, right? So it's one user, get 100 assets. That's great. The entrepreneur one is you're a small team, you're starting off. It's a 10 users, so it can be you and 9 agents. It can be 10 admins if you want it to be. I wouldn't recommend it, but you can do that. And then 1,000 assets altogether. So these can be, again, PDFs, virtual tours, images, etc. And then for the agency plan or for growing teams. So if you're going to have a sales team, 25 people, and you have like a larger org, or you're expanding and you're going to have to have more people answering calls, and like what you had mentioned about having it as a service with your 25 agents for different companies. That's where you'd want to do this, because then you can use your 2,500 assets, and you can segment those into use cases or different companies that you're doing. Because KeyZii can be put on as many websites as you want, there's no limit to that. There's no limit to how many calls you can have. There's no limit to how long these calls can be. Um, so we are a peer-to-peer technology, which means that it's specifically enabled for one-to-ones. So this is a sales tool. This is not a conferencing tool. This is not a tool for you to have 50 people on one call. This is for you to have a one-on-one and like a direct contact with the collaboration with an inbound with a prospective client. In the future, we will be enabling more people coming onto calls, but it'll never be for a 50-person, all hands on deck company wide call. That's for Zoom. That's their world. We don't actually use servers, which means we're much more secure. So our calls go directly from your machine to your user's machine, and nowhere in between. And that's kind of what gives us a bit of an advantage there. So you can be using this for banking, for legal, for medical, and all that data stays safe because it's not going anywhere. We don't keep it. It's within your own environment. And yeah, that's the general overview.
Got it. Okay. I think with that, maybe we'll just answer some questions. I think one of the questions I think related is where is the system hosted and how are you planning to manage the server load?
Yeah, great question. So we don't use servers.
Mm,
Um,
yep.
we don't have a server load. So your call is happening directly from my system, my computer to your client's computer. So again, you can have as many calls as you want. It does not matter to us. It is fully peer to peer.
Got it. Okay. And I think maybe next question taken from the other group was Does KeyZii work with lower internet bandwidths?
Sure does. It's actually would work better than a normal video streaming platform because you're instead of going from your computer to then a server and then that server to another person, it's going direct. So you'll end up having the quality of your video will be as good as your internet is, um, and it generally is higher. Like a video audio quality is generally higher than what you would get on a traditional video call. So yes, it will work on lower bandwidths. And that's actually peer-to-peer tends to be a lot less of a heavy footprint than other services.
Got it. Okay. And a few more questions. Taken extracted from the Facebook group. What type of integrations do you offer? Like, I think you mentioned a few like CRM, Calendly, and everything. So, like, how do you see the platform like bringing in all these integrations?
So for the CRM, any inbound calls you get, we're going to build out like a leads list, right? So you'll have their, who they were, their email, the call, if you did a recording, the transcription, and whatever documents were signed or shared when we build those like sales rooms. We'll also be able to push those into a CRM. Calendly is pretty self-explanatory. Instead of using our scheduler, you can use schedule with Calendly, and put that so that it sends you to the right place when you do the dynamic button. But then we'll do all kinds of automation integrations. It's really up to what the users ask for. I eventually want to get to all of them, but it's going to say we're going to go by if whatever the highest percentage of requests is first. Right now, it's just calendar integrations, because we're very early stage. Again, as I mentioned earlier, we're a small team, so our priorities have been to make sure what we have, the core product, works really, really well. Which so a thing that happens with a lot of all-in-one products is you're you're jack of all trades but master of none. So we've really wanted to make sure we get this one thing extremely good, and then we move to the next one, get that extremely well. So while we do want to have all these things, we're going to do it in a way to make sure that what we're offering works extremely well every time. So that's our process, and I hope that answers that question.
Yeah, definitely. I guess last few things is from some of the users who wanted to know whether KeyZii offers white labeling, and also would you offer a reseller license for maybe like agencies?
Yes, so white labeling, absolutely. You already can white label it if you integrate it as a embedded system on a website. So I can put it in an iframe. You can just and if you go to our school community at school.com/KeyZii, I actually did a post about that yesterday on how to do that. It's very simple. It's just a code snippet into an iframe or an HTML box. We will eventually be doing a CNAME, which is you go into your DNS and you change those records, so that we can do the redirect. And as far as resellers, yes, we are absolutely going to do a reseller program. That is one of the plans for how we want to expand to the market. So talk about that a little bit. If you do become a reseller, obviously we have some criteria, but once that happens, what we like to do is we'll call preferred pricing. So we want resellers to be able to offer their clients a better deal, than what we would offer their clients directly. And the intent here is that we want to enable your business as much as possible. So if you want to white label and sell it as your own tool, great. If you want to sell it as KeyZii, also great. We just want to make sure that the incentive for your client is to continue to work with you.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's very good to hear. So I think that for any of the um marketing and agency folks in our community who are looking to maybe like offer KeyZii or productized service for KeyZii, right, as a service, to check out the deal. And also, I believe if you have any questions from the live stream that you would like Sergio to answer, feel free to drop your questions in the post in the group, and I believe Sergio and the team will answer your questions. So I think I would like to thank Sergio for taking the time out on this Friday afternoon or evening to share more about KeyZii with us. And I'd like to invite the community to just send in your questions and just try and consider grabbing the deal while it's still on Rocket Hub.
Thank you, Donald. Yeah, and anybody has any questions, you can always reach me. You go to KeyZii, right? You have the ability to actually call in and talk to me or schedule a call with me as well, or one of my team members. So that's what we're here for. Thank you, Donald. Thank you, everybody. This was great. And again, if there's any more questions or anything like that, we're here for you. We want to make sure that we give you every tool possible and every opportunity possible to close as many deals as possible. And I like to say my little tagline at the end, it's easy with KeyZii, and what you won't forget. So, yeah, thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Yes. And we'll look forward to seeing KeyZii really go from strength to strength in the future. All right. Thanks everyone. Until the
Thank
next
you.
stream. Bye bye.
Bye.